They were driven to build the best life that they possibly could for our family, particularly when it came to our education. I'm forever grateful to my parents. They are truly my inspiration. Papa loved Ramota, its Lutheran church, and our community here. He was a proud citizen of this country and dedicated his entire life to serving Batswana. He was very generous and charitable. If he had the capacity to contribute and give back to society, he always did. He truly came from humble beginnings, but he was enterprising from a young age. Before bottle stores were widespread in Botswana, he used to make trips to Joburg to buy stock and come and sell it in Botswana. This has taught me to never look down on any vocation. He was never shy to admit that he only had a primary school education. He would say, "Wanaka, This has taught me that we should own who we are in life and not be ashamed of where we start. As a young man, he worked as a messenger, running errands for his employer, which has taught me that there is value in being an employee too, as it instills a sense of accountability to others and teaches you professionalism. His first transport-related venture was when he started a little combi business, which has taught me the value of starting small and building from the ground up. Many years down the line, as a well-known businessman in his heyday, he was still willing to get into the driver's seat of any bus or truck and transport passengers or goods himself. The same man who back in the 1980s, when it all started, was willing to climb onto the luggage rack on top of a bus to ensure passenger luggage was securely stowed. This has taught me that no matter how successful one becomes, to remain humble, be willing to do the job yourself, and do what it takes to get it done right. Papa was a natural giver and always spent more on others than himself. He was happy living a generally comfortable but not lavish lifestyle. He didn't care too much for material things. He preferred experiences, like traveling around the world and eating in nice restaurants, though he was always biased to the ones with white tablecloths. He had that old school mentality. Papa enjoyed live entertainment and would get up and dance if the occasion called for it. But just the two-step with a little waist movement, no more than that. I came to love artists like Oliver Mtukudzi through my dad. Nothing made Papa happier than a good meal. He had a lot of respect and admiration for a good cook. A favorite of his was Dintsutsakuku. We would always argue between me and him who should get that one chicken gizzard. He also loved whole fish and a good Riesling. He didn't mind eating lunch in the same restaurant 5 days a week if the good food was matched with great service. He, however, was a hopeless cook. He couldn't scramble an egg, let alone boil one. Papa had a cheeky sense of humor and was a very animated storyteller. Disclaimer though, he would often add a little fictitious spicinana to his stories, just to make people laugh harder. He had a nickname for me and my cousins. Mine is Medu. But Bojabi, Mochacho, Maspikiri, Lekronjan, Batenhone. If he was calling you by a nickname, he was in a good mood. Papa had a very predictable routine. At any point in time, I could probably tell you where he was. He was an early to bed, early to rise kind of man, watching morning news over breakfast, working very long days, but making time to watch Premier League football in the evenings, his favorite pastime. Like my husband, he was a Chelsea fan, so they hit it off. In his early years, he actually used to play, and as a businessman, sponsored a local football team at some point. Sundays, he would always finish his week with church here in Ramot.